JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, Westmoreland wanted man surrenders to police. Westmoreland wanted man, Devani Bennett, otherwise called Santa, has turned himself into the police Monday morning. Senior Superintendent Robert Gordon, commanding officer for the Westmoreland Police Division, said that Bennett surrendered himself to the pastor. Bennett was wanted for the murder of Clovis Forrester, otherwise called Brother, committed on Tuesday, November 30, 2021, about 6:30 p.m. in Aldeer District, Bluefields in the parish. Bennett is associated with the Delete Squad in Savamar and an associate of Moses Ramsey and Andre Hines, otherwise called Bunny. Hines was killed by the police in Bluefields on February 12. The police had ordered that Ramsey and Bennett turned themselves in by 12 noon Monday. 3 shot, 2 fatal in Trenchtown. The Kingston Western Police are probing the fatal shooting of 2 men and the wounding of another in a section of Trenchtown on Saturday. Dead are 48-year-old Carver Thomas and 27-year-old Diego Edwards, both of Kingston 12 addresses. Reports are that shortly after 5 p.m., gunmen went to 9th Street in the area and opened gunfire on a group of men before escaping. When the shooting subsided, Thomas, Edwards, and another man were found suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. They were assisted to a hospital where Thomas and Edwards were pronounced dead. The other man, said to be a taxi operator, was treated for his injuries. A motive for the double murder and shooting is yet to be ascertained. 28-year-old businessman killed in Mandeville crash. A businessman died as a result of injuries he sustained in a 2-vehicle crash on Greenville Road in Mandeville on Sunday night. The deceased has been identified by the police as 28-year-old Lorne Powell, while friends identified him as Lance. He is from George Reed District in Manchester. Police reports are that about 8:30 p.m., Paul was driving a Toyota Isis motorcar on the roadway when he collided with a Honda Civic motorcar which was traveling in the opposite direction. Police say the drivers of both vehicles were taken to hospital, where Powell was pronounced dead. The other driver was admitted. Relatives of another man involved in the accident said that he was a passenger in Powell's car and has been hospitalized following the crash. Man killed in Clarendon crash identified. The man who died in the 3-vehicle crash on the Mineral Lights Main Road in Clarendon on Sunday has been identified as Ramon Blake. He was from Mattany in Clarendon. Blake was the driver of one of the vehicles that was speeding on the road short before the crash occurred about 7 o'clock. An eyewitness said 2 of the cars involved in the crash appeared to have been racing. 50-year-old man charged with wounding with intent. 50-year-old Gary Buchanan, a potter of Henley Road, Kingston 11, has been arrested and charged with wounding with intent following an incident on West Bay Farm Road, Kingston 11 on Saturday, January 8. Reports from the Hunts Bay Police are that about 8:45 p.m., a man was standing on the roadway talking with a friend when he was allegedly attacked and stabbed by Buchanan. Residents assisted the injured man to hospital, where he was admitted. Buchanan was subsequently arrested and charged for the offense. Man charged after stealing stove and dresser from cousin's home. 28-year-old O'Dane Wright, also known as Oscar, a counter clerk of First Street Racetrack in Clarendon, was arrested and charged with housebreaking and larceny on Monday, February 7. Reports are that on Sunday, January 23, 2022, about 9 a.m., Wright and another man entered the premises owned by his cousin and stole a 5-burner gas stove valued at $34,998 and a dresser valued at $40,000. The investigations led to Wright being implicated, and he was picked up and subsequently charged. Several files destroyed in fire at Brownstown courthouse, says Chief Justice. Chief Justice Brian Sykes says the fire which gutted the Brownstown courthouse on Sunday has significantly disrupted the court's operations. Fire of unknown origin destroyed the 2-story building, which was constructed in 1895. Speaking to reporters following an assessment of the damage, Sykes said several files were destroyed by the blaze. We have lost a lot of files. We have some older files. Some have been digitally converted into digital format going back to 2016, Sykes said. He added, "This will mean we'll have to be rebuilding the files, certainly from the police, and with respect to the civil matters that are before the courts, we'll be reaching out to the attorneys to resubmit some of the documents they may have filed in court." Sykes said he'll seek audience with the Minister of Justice, Delroy Chalk, in relation to future developments or possibly a construction of a new courthouse in Brownstown. In the interim, the Island's top judge said court proceedings on Monday were held at the offices of the Addison Park Sports Complex in the town. We'll be having further discussions as to how we can make the best of the circumstances, that is to say, have the court sit, and also to make it least inconvenient to the court users as is possible, Sykes stated. In the meantime, firefighters are still trying to determine what led to the cause of Sunday's fire at the courthouse. Firefighters had been alerted of the burning building about 7:59 p.m. and responded. Some 30 firefighters battled the blaze for over 3 hours to bring the fire under control. Carefully don't rent your house to scammers, warned St. Mary police. Alleging that several lottery scammers are seeking refuge in St. Mary, head of the police division in the parish, Superintendent Bobette Morgan Simpson, has appealed to property owners to be wary of people seeking houses to rent. What we find is that there are a lot of scammers in St. Mary, Morgan Simpson disclosed at a meeting of the St. Mary Municipal Corporation last Thursday, noting that her officers have recently apprehended 2 alleged scammers who both were now before the court. We have been doing coordinated roadblocks across the parish, and they have been bearing fruit. Last week, we actually arrested 2 men who were found with lead sheets. Based on certain things, their phones were requested, and we found that there were lead sheets in their phones with persons from overseas, she said. Superintendent Morgan Simpson cautioned that heightened police operations, such as the Zones of Special Operations (ZOZOs), have forced many criminals to flee parishes known to have a reputation for scamming. The ZOZOs that are going on in other parishes push out the criminals, and they are trying to find softer parishes to go to, and St. Mary is one of those parishes that they have selected to be their alternative area of residence, the senior crime fighter added. She warned that these arriving scammers are opting to rent properties, sometimes from unsuspecting people who can become victims of serious crimes. They have money, they'll dangle the carrots, and people will be willing to rent these persons, but they really don't know what is going on behind closed doors, Morgan Simpson declared. You have to be careful of who you rent a property to. Remember that when them broke one another foot, which is when the money is not shared properly and something goes wrong, they are going to take revenge. They don't care who is present. They just go ahead and do what they believe they have to do or they want to do, warned Morgan Simpson. Lilliput residents called for increased patrols after 3 slain. Residents of Lilliput, St. James, are appealing for increased police patrols following 3 murders on Saturday, with a 17-year-old boy among the victims of 2 separate shooting incidents. Those killed have been identified as 31-year-old Akash Campbell of Gordon Crescent in Granville, 17-year-old Rashid Stewart of New England, Lilliput, and 34-year-old Leroy Service, otherwise called Brother or Magic, of Bobman Hill, also in Lilliput. Campbell was the victim in the first incident, which occurred about 5:30 p.m. The police reported that Campbell was driving his car along the Lilliput Main Road when a motorcar with several men drove up and blocked his path. They then alighted from the car and opened fire, hitting Campbell several times before speeding away. The police were summoned and Campbell was rushed to the Conway Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. 3 hours later, at approximately 8:45 p.m., Service and Stewart were among several patrons standing outside a bar at Bobman Hill when gunmen shot both victims before escaping on foot. Both were rushed to the Conway Regional Hospital, where they were pronounced dead. We need to see more of the police them in Lilliput, especially in the night, one shopkeeper, who identified himself as Pete, said. We're not saying the police them now do them work, but we need to see them presence more in the area, and things like this would have never happen, he added. Service was a good friend who was not involved in any wrongdoing, said the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper, who said he has lived in Lilliput all his life, noted that the killings occurred because youngsters chose to settle their differences violently. The 3 murders took the number of persons killed in St. James to 37 since the start of the year. 109 new COVID cases, 11 more deaths. The Ministry of Health and Wellness reported 109 new COVID-19 cases and 11 more deaths on Sunday, bringing the infection total to 127,163 and total deaths to 2,750. The new cases comprise 60 females and 49 males, with ages ranging from 4 months to 92 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 32, St. Catherine 21, St. Anne 11, St. James 10, Westmoreland 9, St. Elizabeth 7, Trelawney 5, Manchester 4, Hanover and St. Thomas 3 each, Clarendon and St. Mary 2 each. Portland was the only parish to record 0 cases. The deceased are a 70-year-old male, an 85-year-old male, a 63-year-old female, and a 53-year-old female, all from St. James. Additionally, a 65-year-old female, an 85-year-old female, a 93-year-old female, and a 76-year-old male, all from St. Catherine, were among the deceased. A 95-year-old male, a 92-year-old male, and an 89-year-old female, all hailing from Westmoreland, also died. The deaths occurred between August 2021 and February 2022. There were 193 recoveries in the last 24 hours, bringing the total to 73,461. Currently, 323 people are hospitalized, 39 of which are severely ill, while 16 are critically ill and 59 are moderately ill. The health ministry reported a 15% positivity rate in the latest round of testing. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.